Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about the new intro that DC released along with their smash hit Wonder Woman. So with Wonder Woman being such a great movie, the intro gives us fans a lot of hope that one day in the future we may get more than just the Trinity. So I'm going to be going over all the characters that I can see within the intro, so let me know if you spot any other characters, as it's quite hard to see. So it's safe to say this massive lineup won't happen for a long while. So I'm talking not even by Justice League 2, but with all the DCEU movies being set to release. So we will slowly be building up, introducing all of these characters and heroes and villains. So it seems the most prominent members are at the front, so that's the Trinity, with all the characters surrounding them making movie appearances or having movies set very close to the Trinity, and then moving out we see the more obscure characters that we can hope for in the future. And also I must point out in the intro how Jordan, a Green Lantern, is featured in the main lineup intro as it fades from Batman to Superman to Wonder Woman to Cyborg to the Flash, and then finally to Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, which is very interesting, as to me this suggests he will play a big part in Justice League, because this intro is like a bit of foreshadowing, I think. But I'm guessing we might get a Green Lantern cameo in the Justice League movie to set him up for Justice League 2, because I don't see why by Justice League 2, with all the other movies coming before that like Aquaman and maybe a Batman movie, I think that would be quite a cool way to introduce Green Lantern, you know, link him into the Batman movies. But I think that will be a good setting ground for Justice League 2, because they need him to fight Darkseid, and this will also set up for future Green Lantern movies. So I'll be showing you guys who I can spot within the intro, so I'm talking about the bit, not about the Trinity, but you know, the further intro when we see the whole lineup. So starting from the middle, we can see Superman, Wonder Woman, Batman, the Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, and Green Lantern John Stewart. So those are the main ones that everyone will be able to pick out, no doubt about that. But here goes the more obscure ones heading from the middle outwards. So I see Catwoman, Shazam, Black Adam, Supergirl, Green Arrow, Sinestro, Darkseid, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, flying in the air, Swamp Thing, Atrocitus, which I must say I really do want Atrocitus in the DCEU, because he's one of my favorite villains, and he's a Red Lantern if you didn't know. So next is Nightwing, Harley Quinn, Deathstroke, Batgirl, Hawkgirl, the Joker, Mogo, Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz, Solomon Grundy, Black Manta, Mr. Freeze, Hawkman, Huntress, and Vixen. So those are all the people that I can see so far very accurately, but those are not the only characters, so I will go ahead and theorize about some of the others that I have a brief idea. So I don't have confirmation on any of these characters, but I would say this character does look like the Spectre due to his overall design looking very Spectre-like from the comics. So for some reason he is massive, and I'm not 100% that it's him, but that's the closest I can get to a character. So the next person is either Firestorm or Orion, in my opinion, as they both have crosses across their chest, and this is all I can make out of the image for the person regarding the character right now. So the next character is kind of reminiscent of Black Lightning. So the flying people, one of them could be Big Barda, which would make a lot of sense if they introduce Granny Goodness, as she links to Darkseid, and maybe we will see her in Justice League 1, and maybe she will be like a lackey in Justice League 2 for Darkseid, which she normally is, that being the main villain overarching the DCEU right now, Darkseid. So that would make a lot of sense, and I would love to see Big Barda team up with Batman and co, as she has previously done in the comics and in loads of animated things like Justice League War, and she's just a really cool character. I really like her. And for the rest of the flying people, I could hazard a guess and maybe say one of them is Martian Manhunter, or maybe some of the Shazam family, but that's just a wild guess because they can fly and there is no prominent features on all of them, so they're just a few characters that I could think of. I'm sure there's tons more, but they are just a few ones that I could say. And I don't see why they wouldn't introduce Martian Manhunter to the DCEU, because you remember back in like original Justice League times, Martian Manhunter was a founding member, so I don't see why. I know he's not within the, you know, New 52 or Rebirth, he's not a founding member. He's within it, he's far out, but this time we've got Wonder Woman instead of Hawkgirl, got Cyborg instead of Martian Manhunter, so I don't see why they shouldn't introduce Martian Manhunter, because he's an awesome character, he's one of my favorite heroes, so I think that would be awesome if they did that. But there are a whole load of unknown silhouettes throughout this who I can't pin down as of now, so moving back to the right, I would take a guess that the person with the small wings, the person is miniature, it seems like that would be Bumblebee as of now. That would have been my best guess. So we're gonna have to wait until this comes out in HD, maybe on like the DC channel or the Warner Bros channel. So when that comes out, we will definitely cover that, because I really want to cover more DCEU stuff. So that is all the characters that I've spotted, but I would like to quickly point out how awesome this intro is. Being a massive fan of the Justice League animated series and the sequel series to that, which was Justice League Unlimited, the intro is very reminiscent of Justice League Unlimited, so I'm loving what they went for, that they weren't afraid to put all these characters in the intro, as I think it gets everyone much more hyped, and I think that was their intention. So to give people a bigger picture of what they could do past Justice League and past all these DC movies that have been scheduled as of now. As the first 2 Justice League movies will just be setting up the league, setting up the building base for the future films, so I'm hoping one day we will get all of these members, like a Justice League Unlimited type situation, when they have hundreds of members to call up to for any specific mission that they may need, say Martian Manhunter, they may need Vigilante, they may need Hawkgirl, they may need the Flash, who knows. So that would be awesome if we ever get to that stage. You know, that would probably be like 2030 time, like that would be awesome. So maybe you have like spin-off movies like Justice League Dark, maybe you have Vigilante movie. I think that's awesome. I really like that character. So I'm not talking about the Arrow version here, I'm talking Vigilante in the Justice League animated series. He's awesome. I wish they interpreted that side of him. So get hyped for all the upcoming DCEU films, because this is just the beginning. Justice League's just going to be setting this up, so maybe we get like the Anti-Monitor in the future, maybe they do a Crisis on Infinite Earths type storyline. I think they're gonna expand. Maybe we get a War World movie. That would be awesome. So just expanding past this dark side stage into a much broader horizon of the DC universe. But anyway guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a like and a comment and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.